Okay, we are ready for our featured speaker today. I'm very, very excited. She's been coaching for 2 years. She's already a 6-star diamond coach. She's also a 2021 Beachbody Challenge contest finalist. So you see what I did there? Added the two together. She's a Success Club all-star legend, having only been coaching 2 years. She's got 26 months in Success Club, which is how you become a legend. She's from Tumwater, Washington. You guys give it up for Stephanie Noble. Here she is.
Hi, I am honored to be here. Thank you.
Yay! I'm so excited for you. I want you to talk about, we talked about your start date and your sign-up date. So why don't you just let everybody know what brought you to Beachbody a couple years ago?
Yeah, so back 4 years ago, after I had my first born, after a rough pregnancy and a more rough postpartum journey, I was just in a body I didn't recognize. So when I heard my coach talking about To Be Mindset, I knew that I had to sign up. So I signed up for To Be Mindset, but before my box came in the mail, my best friend passed away. Sorry. My best friend passed away, and it left me very closed off. I didn't want to take care of myself. I had a suffering of choice of just loathing, and I used food as my coping mechanism. So that cycle continued for a while. After having a even more unhealthy second pregnancy and left with 2 babies at home, I had an 18-month-old and a newborn. I knew I just didn't feel good. I was carrying mom guilt, not necessarily because of my weight, but because I just knew I wasn't doing much to serve my children. I didn't have much energy during the day. And so I picked a day one, I picked a program, and that day one rolled around and I didn't do it. And I've always been the start Monday, start next Monday, start New Year's person. And I woke up Tuesday and I just thought, I can't feel like this ever again. And so my first lesson in letting go of that perfection, I just started Tuesday. I just said, I can't wait 6 days to feel better. And when I got done with my first workout, I felt like a better mom. Like it felt like a mom win that I needed. And so I really never looked back. And shortly after, I started implementing To Be Mindset, which started helping me have a lot of mental shifts that rippled not only in nutrition, but in fitness and in life in general. And it's been 2.5 years since then. I've just hit 100-pound in my weight loss journey. And I've been able to help so many other people take back that same control with their health.
I know how difficult it is for you to talk about your start. And I appreciate you saying how much you kind of lost yourself in that time. And you just said fitness is on the back burner, right? You just put it away. So I appreciate you sharing that vulnerability. I also think that we should just stop saying diets or programs start on a Monday. Let's start them on Tuesdays. Let's say Tuesdays are start day, right? This is your wake-up call, everybody, Monday morning. But you finally started, and like, I don't want you to gloss over 100-pound weight loss over 2 years. Pretty amazing. Okay, so that's kind of why you're on this call. Is you and I talked about meal plans. When you go into BOD and it says, do you want to start To Be Mindset or Portion Fix? You didn't know what to do, but you do now. And I want you to just go through your points about how you simplify the process for people, since you have some education now. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go. I think getting into the app, it can be really confusing if you're just like, what program do I do? And opening the programs, we have so many great options and routes, and within programs, different kind of abilities to do different things. And it's incredible because it serves so many needs, but it can be overwhelming for a person who's not familiar with the app or who isn't familiar with overall nutrition and supplements and things like that. So through a lot of trial and error and helping other people, I've kind of learned just 4 of the things that have helped me guide others the best way possible to change their relationship around food and get those results that they want and understand the nutrition programs. So the first thing that I did out of the 4 takeaways is that I learned the programs and I got an in-depth understanding of them. When I first started, I was, of course, coming from a place of my experience with Chubby mindset. But I quickly learned that just because it worked for me doesn't mean it suits the needs of everybody that I can reach. And even knowing that, I was a little hesitant to guide people into Portion Fix because I didn't have an in-depth knowledge of the program. And so my service as a coach and helping other people is important to me. And so I knew that I had to figure that out and overcome that obstacle. The way that I did that was by learning the programs. So I went in and I tried out Portion Fix and I learned, I didn't memorize the recipes, but I learned a lot of the recipes. I learned how to track. I learned how to count your containers and how to pick your meal plan. When To Be Pregnant came out, I learned the program. I've tried Ultimate Reset. I've done 3-Day Refresh. I've done Gut Protocol. And I researched on Shakeology because I think it's a staple. My opinion from my experience is that Shakeology is a staple. And I wanted to get a better understanding of why I was experiencing the benefits I was from Shakeology. And so I learned the source and the ingredients and the benefits and the integrity of the way that they create Shakeology and get it to us. And so I just took it about myself to learn and try all the programs when formerly known as Nutrition Plus, but now Bod Interactive. When the monthly nutrition topics come out, I don't necessarily watch every single video, but I do watch them. I do kind of browse at the recipes so that I know what I can help other people with. And I know the idea of the monthly topics because here's the thing. I am not a nutritionist. I do not know all the answers. It took me a minute to learn that. I didn't need to because Beachbody has the professionals for us. They have the programs. I don't have to do that as a coach. And so I just wanted to really understand what I can guide people to. And a lot of times those monthly topics on the Bod Interactive platform with both programs is where I guide people. So after I gained an understanding of the programs, which I continue doing, I gain an understanding of the person that I'm working with. So I like to have a deeper conversation around the topic of nutrition when I have people join me. However, a lot of people are busy or uninterested in that option. And so when that is not the best option, I just refer them to the quiz that's on the Beachbody On Demand website that helps them choose a nutrition program. And a lot of the questions that I tend to ask are inspired by that quiz. And so I open up the conversation and I just ask them what their setbacks are, what their goals are, what their pain points are with nutrition, what they feel like they do well with nutrition, and just open up the conversation and tend to see if they're needing more structure, more freedom, more mindset shifts, more understanding of portions. And the questions are, yes, to gain an understanding of the person and how I can support them the best, but also it helps them think deeper on the topic than they may on their own. So we go through that and I help them kind of just gain clarity on where they're at and understand that. And then I present them with their options. And so after we're able to talk and understand, then I'm able to explain the programs to them briefly and encourage them to kind of do a little bit of their own, like watching the trailers with the programs and understanding what problems each program can help solve. And I empower them to choose their own. So I don't ask them, or I don't tell them unless specifically asked what program I think they should do. I think it's empowering to choose, but I like to remind my clients that you're not married to it. It's okay to try a program and then to try another one if that's not working for you. That's the beauty of our options. And it's okay to switch programs at different times in your life. The goal is healthy, and we have different ways to get there. And encouraging them to kind of just understand the tools that are in their toolbox when they sign up with Beachbody. They get these different tools. And so one that works now might be something else later. They might need to use a different program or use some recipes from the other program, and just encouraging the overall idea that it's about just changing our relationship with nutrition. It's about nourishing our bodies. It's about living healthy, fulfilling lifestyle. And really, whichever way, whichever nutrition program works for you is what you should do at that time. And then my final kind of way that I help guide others with nutrition, and this one is very special to me, is I empower them and help them claim their power and kind of break through the mindset of all or nothing, or like diet perfectionism. So, coming from my own experience, I yo-yo dieted basically my whole life. And what that looked like, as far as the mindset that was behind that, was that I wanted to do it perfectly. And I was conditioned to think if I didn't follow it perfectly, any meal plan of any sorts, that it wasn't going to work. And so I would meal prep like crazy, get everything ready Sunday, start Monday, it had to be perfect. And then Wednesday, I forgot my lunch. And since I was going to the cafeteria, I would order the worst possible thing. Or I would make it to Thursday, and then I would binge eat my kitchen on Thursday night, and I would write some story about my worth because of that. I was missing the whole point. I was missing the point that it's a lifestyle. It's the way that we shape our relationships with food and our body, and the way that we have control over our health, and don't give that control away to some food or some drink, or to the way that we think we should look or do, or perfectionism, because perfectionism doesn't exist. So in essence, it's the lowest standard we can set for ourselves. So I like to just really open up that conversation up front with my clients and just share my experiences with that, so that when they maybe see it sneaking in after they get started, they're like, oh my gosh, she was talking about this. It's Thursday and I just binge ate my kitchen, but I don't have to start over on Monday. I can just move forward, because this isn't about being perfect. This is about taking control of my health. And if I wait till Monday to start again, I'm not taking control of my health. And so helping just with the mindset ideas that will help them identify those behaviors. And the kind of final way that I empower them is by not letting them give their power away. I think that it's really easy to do. And so when I hear people say things like what I used to say, which is like, I don't like vegetables, I'm not going to eat them. I don't want to eat chicken, broccoli, and almonds my whole life. I'm not willing to give that up. Or I have this trip and I know myself too well, I'm not going to avoid XYZ. Well, what I have to say to that is that your health is so much more important. You are in control. Like I just said, like, don't give that control to food or a drink or to an XYZ trip. It's about integrating these programs into our lives, not perfectly executing some meal plan, but actually learning why we put what we do in our mouths on these meal plans, why we're doing what we're doing, and how it can help us, and understanding that you don't start a marathon without training and just finish it. It's hard to break eating habits. It's hard to, detox from like a lot of the things that are in your body. I struggled. It took me probably 3 months to fully implement 2B mindset. So encouraging others to not think that they can't do it, but to be open-minded to trying it out, starting slow, implementing one thing at a time, and looking at this as a long-term solution. Because avoiding vegetables, I hope avoiding vegetables doesn't take priority over feeling great and sleeping better and having energy and things that others express that they want. And so you have to choose what your priority is. Autumn said in Gut Protocol during the Everybody workout, she talks about restriction, how everyone always talks about how they don't want to restrict things. I did as well. But we're always restricting something. We are what we eat. We become what we eat, right? Our energy, our mood, our skin, our nails, our hair, all of it. And if we aren't willing to restrict the things that we put in our body and the amount of them and make sure that we have nourishing things in our body, then we're restricting our quality of life. And I just am very passionate about sharing with others the same feeling that I've had. I have been able to reclaim every area of my life, and I am a better mom and wife and friend, and I'm able to share this gift with others. And that is because I stopped prioritizing my need to have instant gratification and be comfortable in my day, and I started prioritizing my long-term health goals. So before I hand it back to Sandy, I do want to say, I think that it's easy to have that when you aren't a part of the Beachbody world, not you, but others who are not a part of the Beachbody world. Myself, before I was a part of the Beachbody world, I thought whatever that nutrition program is, I'm not doing it. I will be starving. Helping people understand that it can fit into their lifestyle. Neither program makes you give up anything completely, because these programs are designed as lifestyles. And so helping people kind of understand, like, there's actually so many fun recipes and there's different options suited to your needs. And then the programs that we do have, like Ultimate Reset and Gut Protocol, they're short term and they are more restrictive because they are for a specific goal, like cleansing, detoxifying, and revitalizing your organs, or helping rebalance your gut and understand your gut a little bit more. I had the honor of doing Gut Protocol. I just finished it, and Gut Protocol is actually what helped me lose the final 9 pounds I didn't even expect to lose to hit the 100-pound mark. But doing that in that experience, it relit my fire for what we do, and it reminded me what this has done for my life, and reminded me to see what it's done for the lives of the people on my team or that have joined me. And it goes so much further than the weight loss. Personally on the Gut Protocol, my experience is that I slept better. My skin felt like it was glowing. My hormones seemed more at bay. And it helped me see clearly again and recommit, like I've done a million times, from a passionate and excited place about what we offer. And yes, 4-week Gut Protocol is something where you have to cut things out, but your health and your information and empowering knowledge over your body and your chance at cleaning up your gut and seeing what happens in 4 weeks is so worth it. I was in Disneyland for the entire second half of the first week of Gut Protocol. Of course, I wanted the treats, but I was so much more proud finishing Gut Protocol, feeling like I honored my health instead of my desire to have a treat at Disneyland. So I will pass it back to you, Sandy, but I just really wanted to encourage that on Gut Protocol. You're worth the 4 weeks to gain that knowledge over your body.
I am so impressed right now, Stephanie. Okay. You have brought so many golden gems to this call. It started out as one thing and it kind of ended into like mindset and getting control and having that relationship with your body and your choices. I am so in love with this call and also in love that you didn't give Disneyland, $200 to buy those terrible snacks. Um, I want to ask you a question before we get to your closing, and that is, do you have these conversations with clients before they sign up or when they sign up or when you send share a cart? Like, when is the conversation happening about how important nutrition is, what program they might want to start with? And also, I love that you don't give away the farm. It's like you let them, you give a high level of what they are, but you don't tell them what they are, right? So
Yeah.
can you
I
give
think
me a little intro about when you do this conversation?
yes. And I think that's one thing I forgot to mention because I'm not looking at my notes, but I didn't learn the programs. My step one, understanding the programs. I did that because I take my job as a coach seriously, and I believe that I need to understand everything we offer in this toolbox. And I, in my experience, doing it helps you learn it in a better way than, taking that action and getting that result, good or bad, is what gives you that experience. But I don't learn it to teach my clients the program. I think it's important that they learn the program themselves so that they can have those shifts instead of just getting a meal plan and doing it. That doesn't change anything. It doesn't change your relationship with food if you're just eating what you're told. And so I learn it just so that I can have clarity on guiding them. As far as the conversations go, I typically like them to be signed up before we have too much of an in-depth conversation, because I like to be able to have the conversation and they can have the ability to go look at the programs right then and there and kind of explore them a little bit, maybe watch a couple of the videos and see what I'm talking about and just kind of put the conversation into experience immediately. But I don't close off conversation if someone is curious. I tend to aim them towards, Alana or Autumn's Instagram or, resources that are out there that help explain the programs and give them an understanding of it, or send them the trailers or whatever it is. But that deeper conversation around food, it tends to be when they've signed up.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I couldn't find the button. That's perfect, because I think that your whole point of this conversation is, as a coach, getting a better understanding of all the programs, so that if somebody feels like a program's not working for them and they just quit, you have options for them. Otherwise, they feel like their self-worth is wrapped up into a program that never was a right fit to begin with.
Yeah, it's the same. We chatted about it. It's the same thing with fitness and nutrition programs. Like, maybe you're seasonal, maybe you're pregnant. I think you know which program we could recommend for that. So what if that's a different program than you're used to? It doesn't make you a quitter to change programs because that goal of healthy.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's well heard, well received from, and wouldn't it be funny if somebody walked around you all day long and put up a disclaimer every time you said something? I mean, I have to do my job here, and you didn't make any claims. You were fantastic. I love how thoughtful you were with everything that you were talking about today. You were very thoughtful. But we always have to say that with any program, number one, talk to your doctor, talk to your physician of what is a consumable that you can take or a program that you can follow, anything. But also, results vary. Results vary with your starting point, your exercise, your eating plan. So I just want to say that because I know a lot of people listen to the wake up call, not only watch it. So I'm just chasing you with a lower banner here. And but I do want to tell you that you spoke eloquently, and I urge people to listen to this call again, because she is having conversations with her clients that is not just, hey, pick a color, like you go to the nail technician, pick a program, just pick anything. She's very thoughtful. and she's educated herself. And when you were losing that weight during your 2 years or before, what program were you on? Did you start with Portion Fix and then switch over to 2B? Is that what you said to me?
I tried Portion Fix, and I personally didn't understand how to navigate the library at the time. And so when I started my journey later, it was with 2B Mindset, but I've done both of them.
Yeah, I get it. So I'm going to end the call with a closing statement from you about your superpower. Now, you signed up as a coach 4 years ago. You didn't open the box till 2 weeks later, or you didn't 2 weeks, 2 years. So your sign up and your start date are a little different because you just put it on the shelf. You weren't in the right frame of mind. You got started 2 years after. But now that you've been coaching and you're a 6-star diamond coach, congratulations on your success. And I know that you lost your voice. You were at a meeting this weekend. You have a superpower. What do you think that you have flexed during these 2 years as a coach? Please share that.
Well, you may not be able to tell from this call because I'm trying to rest my voice, but I would say my superpower is the passion that I have for all of this and the belief that I've built through the vital behaviors, using this community, these resources, drinking the Shakeology, doing the programs, and leaning into personal development to grow, allowing that to change my life and build belief in myself more and more. I went from someone who felt like my prime was over and this was just going to be life to somebody who dreams bigger than I've ever dreamed and believes in myself and those around me more than I could have ever imagined. And it's because I worked on that belief every single day. Every time I failed, every time I've had a setback, I lean in. I don't lean out. I lean into my health because our health is all we have. No one can take that away from us. And I have so much belief in how we can add so much value to people's health. And I feel in my heart that whatever somebody is dealing with, something in our ecosystem, our community, our resources, our tools, something can add value to their life. And I share it relentlessly because I think it's selfish not to. Like, I think that we have the best gift, and everyone in the world deserves to have control of their health. And that belief runs deep from my own experience. I share it with conviction, and I will always lend belief. Since I have so much extra, I will lend it to anybody who is like me and just needed to borrow a little bit of belief until they could build it in their own.
So well said, Stephanie. Thank you so much. You are done. You can go rest your voice. I really appreciate you getting on today. Stick around and I'll after the call, okay? You heard it here, everybody. Just the relationship that she gained over her own weight loss helped her better educate and better inspire her clients to not have such a negative relationship with their bodies and with food. And she did that level playing field. She's just like you. She's not a nutritionist. She's not a fitness expert. She just educated herself on the programs and was able to guide her clients. So that is it for today. I hope that you can spread the word to those that didn't watch live. Maybe they can watch the replay or get on the podcast because she had some really wonderful things to say on today's call. So we'll see you here next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.